What's good, party people? This is your friendly neighbor, Chad the Maverick. I want to point something out before I talk about Venus in the eighth house. If you notice, my camera was acting like kind of fuzzy, then it got super clear. That represents Venus in the eighth house. I mean, it kind of does in a sense, but Venus in the eighth house is a very purifying love. Um, which if you have Venus in Scorpio or in the eighth house, you're going to be confused when I say that. But let me break it down. I am a native Venus in Scorpio / Venus in the eighth house in whole sign at the very least. So I'm speaking from like true perspective on this specific Venus. Venus is technically at you're in its detriment at fault here. It doesn't like to be in the eighth house or in Scorpio because then love to them starts to become very deep. Love becomes very sometimes dark because it's like the fullness of love. It's the real essence of love. Not as much as the 12th house, but the 8th house is like the real nitty gritty of love. It's the real like of love. I can't explain that with words, but like I said, I'm a Venus in the 8th, so hopefully that helps. But what Venus in the 8th does represent faded love, soulmate connections, and hell and back, which sucks. But what this does also represent is that these are people that generally are able to every real love situation that they've been in, every real like relationship that they've been in, relationship construct, things that have left a mark on either everything that leaves a mark on a Venus in the eighth's heart has way more effect on the other person than it does the actual Venus in the eighth. Because the Venus in the eighth person lives their life within this intensity, within this depth, within all of this like underneath the surface things that when they love someone, they're just like, yeah, I love them. But you'll always love that person regardless. The thing about it is that this is where the hell and back comes in because on the other end, it's like the person that other person may not be used to that depth. So you have to go through hell and back for them because you have to go on one end, fulfill your needs of your depths and of your like the truth behind the matter. And on the other hand, you have to kind of form this sometimes depending on the person, you have to form this like sort of facade to make sure that they're okay. But that's hell to you. You being in the depths of the real is like your real heaven. Like you really want to be in that subterranean truth. But a lot of people are scared of it. So that's why like things get to be whatever. So besides that, love for Venus in the eighth begins at a pure intent, but it can become damaged when it's not taken well from other people. So sometimes people don't know how to understand the depth. And so for a Venus and Scorpio, for example, we'll add something simple. Let's say like, oh, like what's your favorite color, right? Let's say they're like, why should I tell you my favorite color? Like screw your favorite color, like screw that. Da, 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 da. This is a stupid example. But then a Venus in the eighth house will be like, wow, I really just wanted to ask your favorite color. I guess I'll never ask you about your favorite color again. And they'll hold it. Like it's not even a bad thing, but it's like they want to care for you so much that they'll hold that from that interaction in for you, and they'll let it flow through like their emotional pool, and it sucks, and that's why like I try to, or at least for me, like I'm trying to promote and help other people with Venus in the eighth, because if you don't understand that, you'll fall into a situation that you don't necessarily need to be in because you just don't understand the natural way that your emotions work. So people with Venus in the eighth are attracted to darker themes. A lot of the times there's like a sultry appearance to them, seductive. There's like there's a glint in the eye from a Venus in eighth, which I know I personally do. So like Venus in eighth, look, it's just one of those things where it's like we want to like dive into what makes you you, like at the rawest state, like spiritually, love, emotion, like everything. And it's like it's automatic. It's not like we even try to. We like the color black a lot. Period. Like if you're Venus in the eighth or Scorpio, you like the color black in some capacity. Because to us, black isn't the absence of color. Black is the integration of every color, and it's everything. And putting everything all together at once and knowing everything all together at once is what the Venus and eighth wants to do on an emotional level. They want to know everything about their partner. They want to know not everything to like a weird. They want to break it down and learn their partner piece by piece and layer by layer. They don't want to like know everything straight up. They want to like be able to investigate it themselves and learn over time without having to like necessarily ask them specific questions. So the last thing that I want to really point out is that because you have Venus in the eighth or Venus in Scorpio, sometimes you kind of serve as a vessel for love karma, which sounds weird. Bear with me. You serve as like a vessel for your love karma because like since you have this certain purity, you might meet up with someone that has had a certain issues and you'll like play out this part of their karma. And it's really weird and I want to break into it more and I want to explain more. But this is also eighth house, so I can't like get super deep. But if you have one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you know situations and circumstances where it's like, oh, wow, I really was like that other person in this like karmic experience that wasn't necessarily mine, but it could also be yours. Is confusing once it gets there. But if you have this placement, I know you know what I'm talking about. It's the struggle sometimes. But the thing about it is that because of this intensity and power, we're actually the best when it comes to healing because we know where the hurt starts, so we know exactly where to heal begins. That was deep. I know y'all feel me out there. Anyway, so for Venus in the first 0 to 9 degrees decan, we have Pluto here. And what Pluto is, what the archetype I put for it is the pure lover. Venus in the 8th with 0 to 9 degrees, this is the type of person that wants to like know the pure you. They want to know that inner child that you like hid from the world. They want to know that 5-year-old you, that 5-year-old dreams that you had. They want to know all of those like deep things that in the back wall of your mind. And it's not to control it. It's so they can like know exactly the proper way to love you, which sounds real romantic, but it doesn't always work out that way because a lot of people are afraid of true connection like that. So that's where the toss-up happens. But if you do find someone that does like this intensity, pure love, like literally pure love, you love them. Like it's like this real, it's a lot of storytell type of love that comes from that type of power. That's all I have for at least the 0 to 9 degrees, but you definitely have this sense of like, and you can heal very easily because of this, like, it's this lightheartedness when you are in love in comparison to it being the opposite. So keep that in mind. 10 to 19 degrees, Venus in the 8th / Scorpio. You are seductive in some capacity. I said the seductress in particular, but if you're a man, that can also, you can still be seductive. It doesn't matter. But these are the people that are connected with Neptune. And the Neptune creates this dream behind like all of the things about the 8th house that make it like dark and sexy. Neptune here gives and provides that vibe, that illusion, that the way that you see that, the way you perceive it too. So they have this like real dreamy seductress, real like, yeah, come here type shit. Like I know what you know what I'm talking about, but it's real. And it's like you want to match people's dreams and you want to like almost be a part of their dreams. These are the type of lovers that want to love you so hard that you can't help but dream about them. And it's not always in a negative capacity. Sometimes it could be good, but this is what I'm saying. That's why purity is so important for this type of Venus aspect, because it can go really good where you want to like love them and show them all the best, or it can go bad. So that's why knowing about the Venus in the 8th as you're watching this helps you understand it so you can keep it at a positive rate all the time, because it's at its lowest point in the 8th house. So it's just to, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, last one. So the last one I'm going to go to is Venus in the 8th house, and this is the 20 to 29 degree decan, which is ruled by the moon. So what I done this is it's called psychic love. And what this kind of happens is like when you have this placement, you'll see someone and you'll know nothing about them, but something in your brain just clicks and you're like, them. Just them. Like, it's hard to explain. It's like, it just clicks. You look at them and you're like, this person is going to be important to me, and I don't know why. That's the best way to put it. This is my personal degree, so I can tell you this. Like, it's like, this person is going to be important to me. I could be walking in the street of like 30 people around me, right? And there'll be someone that'll be like super attractive, someone that's super other attractive. There could be someone who's like pretty or like in the middle or something. And I'll look at that person directly and I'll be like, that person's going to be important. I go up to them, I'll say something, and like next thing you know, they're literally an important person. This decan of Venus in the 8th house kind of like is able to pull on when other people's needs as far as what's deep and what's real, and then we attract to those people and provide that like sense of depth to them, which is really kind of cool. But it's also on the other end, the reason why, the downside of this is that sometimes we can still get or be attached to people after a fact or after this, what, that, and the third, because of it's so pure. So even the people that do us dirty, we typically still can feel the love from them, or we can still kind of feel that connection depending on what it is. So it's like very important for you to just like understand that even though you may still feel for those people, it's not because you feel for them or what they do. You just feel for them as a soul. So it's less about who they are. You just love who their soul is. They could still be crap as a person, but you just love like their soul, and that's never going to go away. So just keep that in mind for any of my fellow 20 to 29 degrees 8th house / Scorpios. But yeah, that's the video on that. I'm going to go take a break, then go back and do the 7th house to the 1st house. I'm doing it backwards as I record them. But yeah, whatever. They'll make sense when I'm done. All right, peace out, y'all.